I think it's a great question in regards to how to start marathon training. I mean, it really it's going to come down to your overall why. I mean, it just depends on what you really want to do in regards to the marathon distance. Is it a specific marathon time do you want to run? If it's something like you want to break a 4 hour marathon or a 5 hour marathon, or if you're really thinking, at a really high level, you're talking about trying to break a 3 hour marathon. How to start marathon training is first just I would, if it was me starting off running the marathon, I would kind of just write down my goals, kind of decide what exactly it is that I want to focus on for the marathon distance. If it's a specific time, then I'm going to look at what are the most successful marathoners doing to run the distance effectively, and then try to take some notes and decide what are they doing. I mean, the best piece of advice that I was given is kind of look at successful people, whether they're athletes or non-athletes, find out why they're so successful, and simply duplicate their work habits. And you don't necessarily need to have a great amount of talent. I personally did not have a lot of talent. A lot of people that would see a finish time of 2:19 would say, "Oh, that guy's talented." What they don't see, they see the result, but they don't see the 20 plus years of process that very few people get to see behind the scenes. All the days of training in the snow and in the blizzards and sandstorms when I was in Kuwait in 2003, when I was deployed back in '03. Those are a lot of the things that people don't see. So how to start marathon training, you kind of just, like I said, you write down what specific things you want to do with the distance, where you really want to take it. Do you want to qualify for the Boston Marathon, or is it maybe something like you want to start training to run a marathon just to say, hey, I finished a marathon. I went out there and accomplished something that very few people really actually go out and do. There's a very small percentage of the population that actually go out and actually do that. So just finishing a marathon is it's a huge accomplishment for people to say that, hey, I started the race. And it don't matter if you were jogging a little bit and you had to walk a little bit and you ran, some of it. The point is to get from the start line to the finish line and to finish the distance successfully. Running 26.2 miles is it's a really huge accomplishment. And it gets a little bit more, it gets a lot more technical the faster you want to run the distance. So there's a lot more things you have to focus on when it comes to running a specific time. As I talk about on the blog and future videos, I'll definitely keep reiterating it, because it's extremely important that to focus on the process. A lot of people just focus on the event. They want the results immediately. There's a lot of marathon runners that, understandably, they want instant results, and the marathon is not, it's not a 3,200 meter track event like in high school. Like, I ran the 1,600 and 3,200 in high school. Never envisioned that I would be running, the half marathon or the marathon distance. So there's a lot of things that go into running a marathon. If this is going to be your first marathon, and you're obviously asking the question how to start marathon training, I would start, don't plan on going out and just immediately going into 5 to 7 miles or 5 to 7 days a week training. Try running 2 to 3 days a week, and it can just be a few miles, and just gradually build your distance up. And then after a few weeks, I mean, it takes about 3 weeks for your body to adapt to any stress load that you're putting on it. So gradually, it's normal to feel awful the first few weeks. So just give yourself time, and after those first few weeks, start adding in a couple lighter workouts, just more like a moderate type runs. So it can be anywhere from just go out and try to run 2 to 5 miles a day. And then just kind of throw in some surges in there. Surges are about anywhere from 100 to 150 meters in distance, but they're just kind of, you gradually pick up the pace. So you want to, get your body accustomed to running a little bit faster than you have been in the past. and just build from there. Gradually, just be patient and gradually build your distance to a point where you're going from running 2 to 3 times per week to running, 4 to 5 times a week. And maybe your long run you started off at like 4 miles for your first long run, and then gradually build it up to like 6, 10, 12, and gradually extend it. When it gets to a point where you're trying to run a specific time, then you have to really start focusing a lot more on rest and recovery, obviously, and then specific type workouts. So if you're wanting to run a full marathon at like 7:30 mile pace, then you're gonna have to focus on getting real comfortable with running like 7-minute to 6:30 per mile pace, so you can get used to that, what it feels like to hold that pace. And it's not just finishing the marathon. It's the faster you want to go, it's maintaining the pace for the entire distance. And when it comes to time, if you stop, or if anytime you try to stop, it really will kill the finish time. So, but when you're just starting off, the most important thing I can say is just one, be very patient. Give yourself time to adapt to the training, and then just gradually over time, each week, gradually work on extending the amount of distance that you're running. Don't forget to have a good time. The more competitive you get, it gets a little bit more serious, and you can still have fun. I mean, heck, as a sub 220 guy, I still enjoy having a good time, but obviously it gets a lot more technical, and a lot more things go into, things you have to do throughout the day to really focus on running faster for the marathon distance. But when you're first starting out, the key thing is just to be patient, build your mileage up, and then just gradually start working on whatever specific goal that you have. If it is a time specific goal, then continue to focus on what are the workouts that I need to do. And I encourage you, stop at the archives page on the website that I have and to read some of the posts that I've written over the years. I'm actually going back through the site right now and kind of revising a lot of the information on all of my posts. So it's going to take me a while to do it, but that's what I'm working on right now, along with making these videos. So, again, just starting off, the key thing, if it's a goal, if it's like a weight loss goal, or just a goal of, I want to finish a marathon, I want to get out there and do it. It's definitely doable. There's people that never really put a ton of mileage in and go out and do it. It's a huge mindset thing. I mean, mentally, physically, psychologically, it's a combination of all the areas of your preparation, your psyche, to get to a point where you can finish a marathon. So it is a mental thing. Can you run a marathon doing like 5 to 10, 15, 20 miles a week? I would say if you can get to about 15 to 20 miles a week, just starting off, it's definitely, you'll definitely be strong enough to finish the marathon. Obviously a little bit more mileage, and just like I said, giving yourself time to build up to that. Don't think that the first few weeks that I'm just having a hard time. I don't know if I can finish the distance. You can. It's just a matter of being patient and allowing your body to adapt to what you're wanting to put it through. So, a lot of other things. I mean, feel free to leave a comment below this video. Subscribe to the newsletter. Thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you've learned a few things here. Just a few if the tips have been helpful. But leave a comment and let me know what is it that's like really giving you an issue, or if this is going to be your first marathon. What is your goal regarding the marathon itself? I really like to hear what the reason why you're doing it. And I always ask distance runners what their goals are. Find out, just kind of get their mindset and figure out what it is they're wanting to do. That way you can you can plan for what you're wanting to do. If it's a time goal, or if it's a weight loss objective you have, you can go from there. So have a great evening or afternoon wherever you are in the world. And again, definitely leave me a comment and let me know how else I can assist you with this. And talk to you soon.